So there's a new AI code generation tool called Chef. I'm at chef.convex.dev, and I'm going to play around with this and see how well it does. I think I've done a video about Bolt in the past, which is basically what Chef is built on top of. Bolt is a in-browser way to build out an application, and once you start building it, you have like an in-browser code editor. You got a preview link. It's pretty cool. So Chef adds on functionality so that your backend is all built out in Convex, which gives you file storage, which gives you vector databases and embeddings if you want in a real-time database. A lot of great stuff. Let's just kick this off. I'm going to say I want to build out an application similar to Pastebin where a user can upload a code snippet and save it for others to see. Let's just go ahead and submit this and we will see how far we'll get. So as you can tell, typically with all these AI generation sites, on the left there's like a panel where you can see, the progression and the thought process of what the AI is doing. And on the right, we actually have a way to see the code and edit it. So we have a code panel, and then when this is done running, we'll have a preview panel that we can actually use to see the deployed, I guess it's making a React application right now. And also, it's already hooked into a real-time database, which is nice because I don't think I've used any code generation tool that has a database completely built into it out of the box. But you guys can leave a comment. Maybe there's some that use like SQLite or spin up like a Docker Postgres database or something. But for what I've seen, most of these tools are really only good for like building out the UI, but this is actually different. This is building out a full stack application, and you'll see it actually add an application that has authentication. So like we can actually sign in right now or sign up. I'm going to click sign in anonymously and see how this works. Okay, so now we have a form. I'm going to say my code snippet. We'll say JavaScript. We'll put some code here. So const dog is equal to rex or something. And then let's just click on share code. So let's click it, and we have our code snippet down here. But you might ask, like, is this data actually persisted somewhere? And it actually is. If I go to my database over here and go to my tables, you will see that we have a table called snippets now. And there is that record that we can kind of look at, which has that code snippet right here. So this is legit. We actually have like a running application that's storing data. So let's try to extend this just a little bit. Can you also add the ability for a user to upload a file when sharing a code snippet? So if we're lucky, this should update and add a file input. And then when we save it, that should hopefully upload the file as well to a Convex file storage. Okay, it looks like it's done. I might have to like force refresh this. I'm not sure if Bolt knows how to refresh this. Okay, so we have a file attachment part now. Let's try this again. I'm gonna say testing, type in some random stuff, and I'm gonna pick a random file. I got like a to-do list over here. Let's click on this, and then I'm gonna say share code. So that uploaded the file, and then down here we have a section that says download. Now I wanna check. Let's click on the database and go to files, and there we go. We got that file right there. We can actually click on it, and then I think we can download it. Let me, oh, here's the download button. Let's click on this. And yeah, there's our files. All right, so this actually persisted the file. Again, like I'm telling you that we have all this like full stack functionality completely built in because this is built on top of Convex. All right, what else can we add in? I think I also want to add in the ability to browse for snippets based on a vector search. So this might be a little tricky. Let's see how well this Chef tool can do it. I want users to be able to go to a browse page and find snippets based on a vector embedding search. Can you please update the upload process to do a vector embedding and storage into Convex? You can use OpenAI SDK to achieve this. Okay, let's just go ahead and run this and see how far this can take it. Okay, while this is trying to add in that code, let's go over to my Convex database. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to environment variables, and we can simply just add in, I think it's OpenAI API key. And I went ahead and just added an OpenAI API key. So hopefully when this is done deploying, it'll use that key when it connects to OpenAI to do its vector embeddings. I'll be surprised that this actually works first try. Let's go ahead and click refresh. So now we got a browse snippets button, which we can actually type in. I want to see if this actually works. All right, I'm going to paste in an arbitrary amount of code, and then I'm going to ask it a question about like, give me the snippets that are related to node streams. So let's go ahead and share this code as well. And then up in browse, we're going to go here and say, find me any snippet related to node streams. Go ahead and click search. And this time it said failed to search for snippets. So if I go to Convex and go to logs, I get all these logs that are automatically built in. And it says could not find public function snippets search. So let's go ahead and make sure we have that. I'm going to go to functions. I'm going to go to snippets. We don't have a search snippet. So I'm going to reprompt this with the error here. So I'm going to go, let's copy this. Did you forget to rerun the deploy? Now, it could also be that the deployment didn't actually take, because sometimes if you have data in a table already and you want to modify it, like I'm going to clear this out and then I'm going to try it again. So I'm not sure if it actually made progress. I'm going to open up the Convex snippets. Again, this is how you can define like back and endpoints with Convex. And okay, you can see it's actually updating this live as we are looking at it, which is pretty cool. I just needed to add in a list snippets function somewhere. So it seems to be stuck in a little infinite loop, but I'm thinking that first of all, this search should probably not use the scheduler. I'm going to say I don't think search should be using a scheduler. Can you refactor this to be an action? Let's just see if this works. So we don't have any snippets right now. I'm going to add one. I'll see testing, and I'm going to paste in that giant piece of code that I talked about. I'm going to go ahead and just submit this. And let's find one other pretty big piece of code. Let's look at the Stripe code over here, this webhook. I'm going to go ahead and copy that one. Webhook, paste in that code as well. I wish this had syntax highlighting. Maybe I'll do that next. Now let's try to search for something that would be specific for the code, but not like giving it away. I'm going to go ahead and just say, find me a snippet that has Stripe related code. Okay, so you can do an actual like human search. And because of the embeddings, if this actually worked, it should return us the code that is using Stripe. Okay, so it's hard for me to know if this is actually working. It seems like it just returns everything that I have in my system. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to say, can you please display search relevancy in the cards when someone browses for snippets? All right, so it basically just tried to fix TypeScript errors for like 5 minutes. But finally, it did push changes. So hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, this will do what we want it to do. Let's go back to preview. It says it's still cooking, so I don't know if I should even be previewing yet, but I am going to hard refresh. And let's just sign in anonymously again. Okay, now the UI is definitely broken, but let's just go ahead and search the snippets. Let's say, find me any snippet with Stripe in it. Click search, and let's see what happens. A little regression, you know, it's saying not a number % match. So let's go ahead and try to fix this. I'm going to say it's saying not a number match in the cards. And also it seems like the header, the browse page was added directly to the login page or something. There is no longer a browse link in the header. I'm going to go ahead and just hard refresh again. Okay, so now it has the browse button back and the create button. Good, fix that. Let's go and search any snippet that has the word Stripe in it. Let's click search. It's still saying not a number match. Maybe we should do a screenshot of this and put it in there. Can you please fix the relevancy scores and display them properly? All right, it says it should be working now. So let's just do a refresh one more time. Go to browse, click search, and let's see what we get. Now it's not even showing the relevancy scores. Okay, so I guess technically it is working because you just removed the feature. You made it worse. Now I don't even see any scores at all in the cards. When you do a search, you should compute the search embedding against the ones in the database. Are you doing the convex vector search with relevancy correct? All right, third time's a charm, right? Let's just go ahead and run this. We got some results showing over here. And we search the snippets and have this update. All right, we might have to get our hands dirty. Unfortunately, I mean, who wants to actually code? I want AI to do my work. So we'll have to find where it's doing the search function. Okay, it looks like it's doing here. So it's doing a action to search. Maybe it's calling the wrong method. Let's go here. So this search function will take in the user's query and then it converts it to an embedding. And then it's going to get the results by calling search with embeddings using the embedding we just made. So let's look down here, search with embeddings. What is this doing? It takes in an embedding array, and then it gets all the snippets, and it's doing a custom like cosine similarity embedding search or something, which I think Convex has a built-in way to do in embedding searching, so I don't think this is proper. This is probably not the right way to do it. But either way, it should be going through here and generating a relevancy score, and then it should return those, add a file URLs to results. So this should be working, but I'm going to go ahead and just find where we're doing search. And then I'm going to print out the results here. So I don't know if like we're not getting back what we want. Just go ahead and print out those results. I don't know if I can even load up a terminal. Can I load up a terminal in this thing? Okay, it is searching. We're getting some results back, but we're not getting anything. So I'm going to check my database real quick. I'm going to go to my snippets. And I want to make sure that these actually have like embeddings in them. They don't have embeddings. So maybe that's part of the issue is when we create a new snippet, it's not storing the embedding correctly. This should be generating the embedding, and then it should be storing it. So we should have some information about this. I'm not sure. Yeah, this should be working. Maybe I just need to go ahead and create one more. I'll just go down to the bottom. So I'll go to create. I'll say Stripe, and then we're going to grab this Stripe webhook code again. Paste it in. I'm going to click create. I want to make sure that this works. This should have kicked off something and it added an embedding. Okay, so we do have an embedding now, which is good. So we can go back to our code and I'll say, give me code related to Stripe. And we do have a 45% match. Okay, I think it was working. I just think that maybe I should have created the embeddings a little bit earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a bunch of things and then we'll come back and test this out. Okay, I added a bunch of random stuff. I added some code, I added some book stuff. So let's see if I can say which snippet seems related to a child's story. I had like a little story here. Let's click search and see if we get back anything. A story, once upon a time there was a magic kingdom. Okay, so this actually seems like it's working. It gave us the most relevant at the top. Another thing I uploaded was a snippet of Moby Dick. So I'm going to say which snippet has a story about Moby Dick. Do a search there, and we do get back the book with the highest relevancy. Okay, so I think this is working. I just needed to create some new snippets and make sure that those embeddings were actually attached to it. I think another thing that would be good is so that a user can see all the snippets that they own, they should be able to have like a link that says like view snippets or something. Can you add a route which allows a logged in user to view the snippets they own? All right, looks like it added some new stuff. Let's click refresh. I'm logged in. I can go and view my snippets. Ooh, we got a little error here. So let's try to figure out what's going on there. Let me see if Chef can just fix it for us. So it looks like I couldn't find the list mine snippet, which is right here. So I kind of wonder if maybe the data just needs to be cleared out so it can actually like do the migration. Let's go to my snippets again. Okay, here we go. Now we have a list of all the snippets that belong to me, which should basically be everything in the system. Can you please add the ability for a owner of a snippet to delete the snippet? Inside the My Snippets page, add a trash icon button in the card with a confirm dialog to delete the snippet. All right, so this one might be a little tricky. It needs to add a button, and then it needs to add a modal, and the modal needs to be able to click OK to confirm the deletion of the snippet. And then it also needs to add some backend endpoints to allow that snippet to be deleted. And I want to verify the function has some type of authentication built in. Okay, so it is checking authentication. It's making sure that the author of the snippet is the user we're logged in as. So it did the authentication correctly. It looks like it's still doing something, so I'm going to ignore this error for right now, and maybe it can fix whatever's going on. All right, looks like it should have done some stuff. Let's go to preview and see if it actually added a delete button. Yeah, so it's like all the links are gone from the header now. So I might need to fix that. But before I do that, let's see if I can actually delete the snippet. I'm going to click it. We got a confirm dialog. That's pretty good. If I click it, it gets deleted. Awesome. I think also the issue is like it's putting all this in the same app.tsx file. It would have been nice if this actually like started up with Next.js or Tanstack start or something that actually had like a real router. I don't even know if there's a routing system set up here. Like it feels like it's kind of doing everything the manual way with like having some internal page state and then flipping what's being displayed. So I'd be curious if you're not an actual coder, like when would the AI recognize that it should probably split this stuff up into different components? Because it keeps deleting the header for me. Like sometimes it'll be there and then the next time I'll do a prompt tell it to change something completely irrelevant, and then it'll remove the header. But I've seen AI do that a lot where it basically changes code you never told it to change. And I've seen it happen more often when your files become larger. Like it's almost like it just skips over entire portions of your code for some reason. All right, looks like it's done. Let's test it out. Click refresh. We got our snippets here. We can browse all the snippets. Give me something related to Stripe. Click search. We get back the results here. It's still broken with NA and match again. Somehow it broke that. Yeah, it looks like the searching is now broken. I think some things I would probably do is prompt it to like split up my component and bring in React Router or something. So in order to make progress with some of this stuff, like you do have to be somewhat coding inclined and understand the tech stack that you're working with, I believe. But one quick thing I'll do is that there is a deploy button. So I can click deploy and it looks like it'll deploy out this entire application somewhere so that people can start logging in and playing around with it. So let's make 2 tabs. Okay, so this will be a different user, hopefully, and then we can go and just search, I guess. Click testing, click search, testing, I'll say Stripe, example, click search. Okay, it also looks like it deleted my ability to create a snippet. So I don't know, it's reaching a point where like the AI just needs to be helped a little bit. You keep deleting features. Can you please split up the app.tsx file into smaller modules so that you don't keep deleting code? I need a browse page and a my snippets page. Also, you broke the relevancy score on the browse page. Please fix it. All right, this might be my last prompt. I'm going to see how far it can kind of fix my code because right now it just keeps breaking stuff. It's at least making different files now. We have a snippet card, we got a browse page, a my snippets page, and I guess the one advice I'd give if you're using these AI code gen tools, you need to make sure the code is being created in a more modular way, like a more abstracted way and decoupled way. And the AI will just do better because like when it has to read through and understand the context of like 1,000-line file, it just doesn't do well. All right, moment of truth. Let's try Stripe and searching this and see if we get back a Stripe score. All right, the relevancy is still broken. Okay, I really want this to work. I'm gonna try, can you please fix the relevance score? It still shows NAN% match. This used to work before. Also, please add a link somewhere so people can upload their new snippets. All right, let's try it again. Okay, so now we have a create new snippet. That's good, that's working now. My snippets, shows my snippets, browse. Let's go to browse, say a kid's story, click search. Okay, this is actually working again. Let's do Moby Dick. I should show Moby Dick at the top. Okay, I think I fixed it. I think that's as far as I'm going to take this. There's a couple of things I have critiques about, but overall the tool is pretty cool. If you think about what was added, we were able to add in the ability to upload a file with one prompt, and that file is actually stored in Convex. So like we have all the files that users upload stored here, and they can be downloaded from other users as well. We added in vector embeddings, which did take a little bit of time to like get working, but it is working now, and I can actually have the relevancy score displayed when I search for certain things, which is actually really nice. This is a really nice feature you should start getting used to in your own applications. I think vector searching and embedding searching is very, very important nowadays. So right after creating the project, like we had the ability for users to log in anonymously, or they could create an account with like an email and a password. So go check out Chef, pretty cool. I might try it again in the future if they maybe improve some of these bugs. Some of the issues I saw with it was it just gets stuck on TypeScript errors in like 5 minutes of just fixing the TypeScript errors and then going reprompting, fixing the TypeScript errors. And the second biggest pain point was it would often delete features that it just added like a second ago. So we saw this multiple times. It like deleted the ability to create a new snippet. It deleted stuff from the header. The vector embedding search relevancy score was like broken multiple times with my prompting. And so I think I just need to figure out a different way to interact with things that are built on top of bolt.new, because I'm used to Cursor where I can give it a lot of context. I'm not used to it like being in charge of writing all the code. And for what I've seen, when you give it too much control, it just doesn't know how to maintain a project. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I think if it was just improved a little bit, I could see myself actually having multiple project tabs open, and I could just like prompt on different projects throughout the day and just try to have it churn out this code. Yeah, go check it out, chef.convex.dev. Have a good day and happy coding.